Bang! NEEVESKNIVES, I'm Jared, and we have about 7 knives to get through, and some of which are brand new and just dropped. This is the Sativian ST133. It is new to me. I don't know how long it's been out. I believe it is a new model though. It has a D2 drop point big belly blade. It's almost a Tonto because of the dual grind here. It almost has a secondary tip, but it definitely has a robust belly that you can, bear down on a little bit harder. And then it's nice and slicey in this area. And then when you mix the ergonomics, which are very comfortable in the hand, this thing's gonna cut like a champ. The action is really, really good. Sativian definitely has that down pat. They do a really good job with their action. It's basically complete fall shut. Detent is very, very well tuned. The micarta, I'm not a big fan of this, whatever the kind of micarta this is. I do not know what kind it is. To me, it's pretty ugly, but there is different versions though. This is just one option or one version of this, this model. So there is other ones, as far as I know. It does have a lanyard pin back here, and all in all, Sativian does a really good job for the price. They're still very affordable knives, but when you're talking about in the $20, $30 range, they do a pretty damn good job. Next is the Texas Blade Show Best Tactical Folding Knife of the Year. That is a production knife, and yeah. The Wii Diatomic, and it's pretty awesome. I just did a full first impressions on it. You can go see that if you want to see how it gets taken apart and stuff, because it is pretty unique how this thing comes apart. But it has two clips with roller bearings on it, so you can carry it either direction. And it does not have the wave feature because the clips are facing tip down, which is not the normal, but I will say when you pull it out, it is easy to get to deploy it. And the blade steel is 20 CV, and it has this beautiful pattern that stretches from the blade to the handle. There's like 5 different options, so there is different color options. Good access to the lock bar, extremely smooth on the drop, and technically you can reverse flick off of the guard. Now you can also thumb flick. It's not the easiest to do, but you can do it. But yes, the regular flipping action is going to be its primary deployment. But this is obviously a self-defense knife. This is a knife for poking, but it has very good geometry for a dagger style blade. It is actually thin in the center, so for actual slicing and stuff, this thing will actually slice pretty good. But the titanium frame lock looks really good. I do like the pattern across it. I like how the blade hides completely into the handle, and it is very snappy. They did a really good job with this, and like I said, the build is pretty unique how this thing gets put together. You probably can't even notice that there's an end cap here that comes off. But anyways, you guys can go watch the full first impressions if you guys want to see that. The Wii Diatomic. All these knives will be linked down in the description as well. Next is, this one's not new, but I haven't shown it that much on the channel, and I like it a lot. So let me explain. I'll explain why I haven't shown it that much, but first off, let me explain why I love it. So they tuned this detent so good, and it even sounds cool. This fuller right here is nice and catchy. It's very easy to deploy from. So I really like the reverse flick on this. You can also thumb flick off of it. So all forms of deployment are really, really good. The blade steel's ARRPM9 steel. The ergonomics are really good. I do feel the clip a little bit, but it's not horrible. It is reversible. Deep carry clip, not inset, but it does have flat screws. And the ergonomics, like I said, are really good. The blade shape, it is a clip point blade, and it has, somewhat of a lower facing tip. It's about even with the center of the pivot, so it's going to be perfect for utility cuts. You're going to be able to do utility cuts. You still have enough belly there for belly cuts that people like from their clip point blades. But the problem I had, and the reason why, even though it is such an awesome knife, why I really haven't shown it that much is because mine has some play. So it's got play and then a little hint of detent lash. Now the detent lash isn't bad. I can kind of get past that because I don't really feel it unless if I wiggle the blade. Like I don't feel it in the flipper tab. But when it's open, when I go like this, I can feel the lock wanting to fail. Now, The reason why I'm showing it right now is because that's probably just mine. I haven't heard anybody else say that, but mine definitely has some issues. I've tried adjusting it and stuff like that, and it's just not, you know, nothing's working. So mine is somewhat of a lemon, you could say. Not that it's ever failed on me, not that it won't work just fine. I fidget with this thing like crazy. I've even used it a little bit, but you know, it's not something I would trust for real serious use when I can feel the lock shaking. So, next one is the Kuby Titius or TITYUS or whatever it's called. So this is a premium version of the KU322, which was a very, very popular Kuby model. Now we have it in, I think, 5 different options of titanium frame lock. There's different colors. There's even the tiger striped one. But the blade steel is 14C28N, which keeps this right around $100 price tag. That is phenomenal. And they did a really, really good job. The action is exactly what you'd expect from this knife. It is amazing. The hole deployment works good. You can thumb flick it. You can reverse flick it. Solid detent. The flipper tab's nice, high, well jimped, very comfortable flipper tab. Cranks out there. Ergonomics are hand melting. You know, this was already, like I said, a fantastic budget knife. Now it's contoured, micro milling, beautiful titanium with titanium hardware. So you're getting all the premium materials. This is the closest thing you can get to a budget Koenig Arius. Now, I'm not saying it's a copy or anything like that. I'm just saying if you like the style of the Koenig Arius, you know, the Koenig Arius is like $1,000. This is definitely far, far more affordable. You have an inset deep carry clip, not reversible, but it does have flat screws and it works really, really good. And I chose the green one because, you know, I don't have a lot of full titanium knives that are solid green. So next is not a new knife. This is not a new knife, but I wanted to talk about it really quick. This is the XL Feist, so the Kaiser Feist XL. So the Feist has been out for a long time. There's lots of different versions of it, so many different options. Then they came out with the XL version. Now this isn't the one I'm gonna recommend. The one I'm gonna recommend is the micarta one with 154 cm steel. This one has 20 CV with fat carbon fiber. So this one's quite a bit more expensive. But for the micarta one at 154 cm, these things are some of the best front flippers as far as budget knives go. So if the smaller one was good, but it wasn't really good. Like as far as front flippers go, it was good, but I wouldn't say like it was really, really good. This one I would. The size of it allows you to kind of just like rest it in your hand. Detent is tuned perfectly for a front flipper, exactly where you'd want it. You can do all the tricks rapidly, like and over too. Like I can sit here and do this over and over without being fatigued or anything. So it is very, very fidgety as far as front flippers go. This drop point blade is super useful, especially with this large neutral handle. You can cut straps, you can cut forward, you can do utility cuts, you can even do the reverse gas station knife fighting grip. It all works because of this neutral handle. Good access to the lock bar, complete fall shut action, and yeah, the Kaiser Feist XL is a solid choice. If you've been wanting to practice on a front flipper, or maybe you love front flippers, you should definitely get this one. This would be an easy one to learn on, or to just appreciate if you already know how to operate a front flipper well. Next is the SENCUT Slashkin. The SENCUT Slashkin. Now the SENCUT Slashkin is very, very well done. SENCUT does a really good job. So, you know, it's undeniable. I would say they are the best you could get in this price range. You know, under 50 bucks, they have the best knives you can get. The action on this is stupid good. Like they tune the detent to perfection, and then you can see how high the flipper tab is relative to the pivot. This thing just comes out with authority, and then complete fall shut action. Thumb studs are low, but they land right where you'd want them to be. Now the access to the lock bar is a little bit tight. That's my one negative, or my biggest negative, I should say. My card is scales, but it does come in different options. They even have a wood option. Deep hollow ground D2 blade. It has somewhat of a stout spine, so it's going to be a nice tough tip with a very slicey edge. This thing's going to cut like a champ. This is a great work knife. This is the perfect style for most people looking for a pocket knife, because the things you're going to use a knife for, this thing will do very well at. Reversible deep carry clip, and yeah, all in all, super solid knife. This is definitely one I recommend. Next, as far as self-defense goes, let's talk about the new CIVIVI Incisor 2, because they had the Wii version, which, you know, I think is discontinued, but it has a Nitro V blade with a hawkbill profile that is absolutely nasty. This thing is devastating. If it gets in contact with you on the bad end, it's gonna ruin your month, if not year. A life. It has a wave feature. Now, if you look, I have mine set up in the position because the way it should be is like this. So when you're pulling it out of your pocket, you wave it like that, then you spin it around into your hand and you catch it. I have mine in the forward grip, so that I'm gonna pull mine out like this and then just grip around it. I like it better in the forward grip. I just feel more comfortable with it in the forward grip. I'm not good with the reverse grip with karambits. You know, I haven't trained enough and practiced enough and really got it down pat, like, you know, like maybe some other people might. But with the forward grip, I feel very comfortable. I feel very good with the forward grip. It's just natural for me. You know, I've swung tools my whole life forward, so it's just very natural. The action is super duper good. It has a nice large flipper tab that you can build up pressure and snap it out. And then you have the whole deployment. Now, when you disengage the button, you do have to watch out for the flipper tab. It'll come around and might bump you. So, you know, it's easy to stay away from. You just gotta, you know it's coming. Not that it'll hurt you or anything. It'll just stop the blade. But the karambit hole is actually really big. It's rather comfortable in the hand. Perfect blade steel for this type of application. It's an affordable self-defense knife. Aluminum scales, Nitro V steel. Great design, fantastic action, rock solid lockup on this button lock. So it's impressive. And, you know, I think they're like 120 bucks, you know, right there, give or take. I don't think that's a bad price. It's definitely unique. And I do know people are going to be like, hey, well, they're doing the SENCUTs with D2 for like under 50 bucks. And this got Nitro V. Is it really worth that much? No, probably not. It's probably overpriced a little bit. It definitely is. It should probably be in like the $90 range, but it's definitely unique. And if this is something that your style, something you're looking for, then it's very well done. So work hard, stay tough. You know society's relying on you. Until next time, peace.